This project was made possible with the support of Cal Humanities, a nonprofit partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities. Visit www.calhum.org.
So when I came home from the Army, home is the west side of Chicago, where I was born and raised. I had a new wife and a new son. My family knew my wife because I went with her as my girlfriend for almost 10 years before we got married. So they were very familiar with her. My son was about 6 months old, and they hadn't seen me married or having a son, so that was quite interesting. The thing I jumped right into was professionalism. I started working a lot of corporate jobs at the Certified Collateral Corporation Information Services. I was working in the teleservicing department there, and I was making my way. I was excelling through the ranks. I was getting a bonus every pay period for figuring out the percentages of my coworkers in our department. My marriage was struggling because my wife was trying to leave me and my son. And I drove all over the country trying to keep that marriage together, but that didn't work. So she ended up going to Florida, and I raised my son. As far as the work goes, I moved to Michigan, where I was working at the Whirlpool Financial Headquarters in Benton Harbor, Michigan, when we were the financial appliance conglomerate of the world. I also started kickboxing with the American Taekwondo Association. It took me 2 years to get my black belt, from white belt to black belt. Then I won my world title in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I became friends with Muhammad Ali. I wanted Muhammad Ali to sponsor me in the Olympics. He left. I think he went to Indonesia or somewhere. He left, and I took a job working law enforcement, working for Chief Judge Stuart Meeks of the Berrien County probate court system. And that was a good job. That was a great job. I was working with juveniles, and I was implementing a program called Positive Peer Culture, PPC, and at the same time, I was teaching them some of the skills I already had. One of my degrees is in painting and interior decorating, so we painted the whole facility. And they liked that a lot because it saved them a lot of money, and it kept the kids learning skills. I started a basketball tournament there, in which we placed third in that tournament. And I was teaching those kids a lot of things, because I'm a teacher by nature. Then, after a while, I got addicted to rock cocaine. And the girl who I was in love with, who I didn't think I could lose, I lost her because of rock cocaine. And I ended up homeless. I ended up becoming a drifter. And I would drift from city to city. I would go into rescue missions, and I would preach the Word of God. I have a gift for preaching the Word of God. I'm an exceptional biblical scholar. So I would come in out of nowhere and start preaching the Word, and those people accepted me. In Denver, in Los Angeles, here in San Francisco, it didn't matter where I went, I was doing that. I would get into different programs. The VA really was a big part of my life because they had programs for me to get into. Healthcare was good. Housing was good. Once I got through a program, then it was easy to get housing. Now, hitherto thus far, I'm in Swords to Plowshares program at Veterans Academy in the Presidio. And I'm in the PRRC at Fort Miley, and I'm doing exceptionally well. My sobriety is very strong. My sobriety is the basis of everything, the foundation. If I don't have my sobriety, I have no success. I do still preach the word of God. While I was at Swords to Plowshares, I used to take veterans, about 10 veterans, over to the Salvation Army every Friday, and we would pass out 800 sandwiches in the Tenderloin. I really enjoyed doing that. I did the same thing down in Los Angeles. I knew a man named Pastor Moore who used me to run the Bible programs, to build up a crowd throughout this large Salvation Army. And a lot of work got done in terms of the Christian street evangelism. So as I wrap this up and bring it to a conclusion, I am very grateful that I have the VA. I'm very grateful that I have a lot of friends and support to help me out when I'm struggling, and I have a very active prayer life. Thank you.
This project was made possible with the support of Cal Humanities, a nonprofit partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities. Visit www.calhum.org.